The reason this all ties to Valentine's Day, the reason that for those of you just tuning in, the 92-year-old man who shot his wife. Now that I fixed my volume, why did this 92-year-old man suddenly decide that he was going to go ahead and shoot his wife for absolutely no reason at all? Or is there something bigger here? What if we are being programmed away from our institutions, things that have always been flourishing within the country that have unified us? Things like Christmas, which you're not allowed to say anymore. Saint Valentine's Day being a saint, the radical left being against all things that have anything to do with roots in Christianity or that which has some semblance of normalcy within a society. Well, listen to this. We know that the left is promoting people like Linda Selsour, who are radical Islamists, who are in favor of things like Sharia law, who are in favor of the kinds of things that happen to women where they're not allowed to drive down the street, not allowed to look up when a man is around. It used to be that I was always a raging liberal because I hated that the right was always telling people how to live their freaking lives. And now you've got the Democrats doing the same thing, whereas the conservative line of thought has somehow become the more liberal line of thought. And libertarians like me are just trying to figure out what the hell happened because we still feel the same that we always did. And this matters because my best friend Dan, the bassist from Passing Time, was introducing me today as a Republican writer for the Conservative Daily Post. You might as well tell somebody I screw sheep. I mean, it's absolutely, do not say that. I have always been a libertarian who happens to work for a Republican-leaning website, but that's only because the left has lost their mind, not because I have joined people like Chris Twisty Christie and Jeb Bush, who I detest. Listen to this. Today, February 14th, of course it's dated, is Valentine's Day, the sacred day that intimate companions mark to celebrate their love and affection for one another. If you're thinking about marking a study of how couples celebrate this day, the Muslim world and the millennials of the radical left are not the places that you would be spending your time. Indeed, it's pretty hard to outdo Islamist and progressive when it comes to hatred for Valentine's Day. And this hatred is precisely the territory of which the contemporary romance between the left and Islamic, what it is to say Sharia law-based supremism, is formed. How is Sharia tied to a hatred of Valentine's Day? We'll get to that. The train is never late. Every year the Valentine's Day comes around, the Muslim world erupts with ferocious rage, with its leaders doing everything in their power, it says, to suffocate the festivity that comes from the celebration of private romance, which of course is frowned upon in Islam. Imams around the world, it says, thunder against Valentine's Day every year, and the celebration of the day itself literally outlawed in Islamist countries. This year, for example, the Islamabad High Court in Pakistan banned the celebration of Valentine's Day in public places, and then at an official level prohibited all electronic and print media from covering any festivities mentioning the occasion. Again, we're talking about a saint here. That's why they hate them so much. Several cities across the Muslim majority of Indonesia, meanwhile, banned people from celebrating the day. In the city of Surabaya, a group of school students, which included many girls wearing the hijab, denounced Valentine's Day. In Muslim-dominant Malaysia, the group, the National Muslim Youth Association, directed females not to use emoticons and perfumes in a pre-Valentine's Day message. Now, let me ask you a question, friends. Isn't it unusual that Islam, that claims to be this great beacon of inclusiveness for people, are coming out against a holiday that involves somebody's liberty to choose who it is or who it is not that they are with? It says last year Pakistan also banned Valentine's Day, calling it an insult to Islam, and warning that strict action against anyone daring to celebrate the day in part of Islamabad. In the past, Valentine's Day activities were disrupted by Jamaat-e-Islami. It's a Pakistani mains religious party, and in the last 2 years, the state of the court has now gotten involved to ban the celebration of the day. So what are we seeing, or why is it that they're hating Valentine's Day so much? Because it is something that goes against what Sharia law is, which is a dictation of the government through the hands of religion as to who or not can engage in free association, or the people that they wish to spend time with, independent of a religious hierarchy. we're seeing a run to the left, to radical Islamism, because they are looking to rebel against that which it is that they think that they hate, which is Trump. But what they're rebelling against is the very rights that prevent them from being beaten in the street from rebelling, because women aren't allowed to speak in Sharia Islam. But so what exactly is transpiring here? What explains this hatred of Valentine's Day by the leftist feminists and the Islamists? And how does it serve the sacred bond that brings the left and Islam together in this feast of hate? The core issue at the foundation of this phenomenon is that Islam and the radical left both revile the notion of private love, a non-tangible and divine entity that draws individuals towards each other, therefore distracts them from submitting themselves to a secular deity. In other words, Valentine's Day represents a certain freedom of will, a celebration of free choice, if you will. And that is something that is forever frowned upon by Islam, because it goes against the tenets of Sharia law, and it also goes against the tenets of the modern Democrat Party, because both of them want to restrict what it is that you do. And you're not going to find anybody that breaks it down better than I just did. That's why you've tuned in. Welcome aboard. I got two more to get to. This one here is from Breitbart. Hamas terror commander killed in accidental blast. Now, this almost got the Dum-Dee of the day. I'm going to go ahead and load the Dum-Dee music because it didn't. I've got the Dum-Dee set next. But it is always good when someone that spreads hate, or someone that loves to blow up innocents because they think that Allah told them to do it. It is always a great day when that kind of person proves to be dumber than the tarnish on a doorknob, and they wind up blowing themselves up instead of anybody else. It's always a great day when you get to report upon an idiot that doesn't get to harm other people with his idiocy. A senior Hamas field commander died Sunday of wounds incurred a day earlier in an accidental blast, the Gaza-based terror group said. In other words, remember all the cries that said, "Oh, Israel, Israel, if you give us the Gaza Strip, we will no longer bomb you." Well, that seems to not be the case, because this guy was trying to bomb Israel from the Gaza Strip, and all he did was pretty much blow himself into an area where he realizes that there are not 17 virgins waiting. Hamas military wing, the Qassam Brigade, said in a statement posted on its official website that high-ranking field commander Mohammed Hamad al-Wali Aqili, try saying that 4 times, 37, died Sunday morning. Other reports from Gaza said he was 44. Who cares? He's gone. He's dead. Good. According to the statement, Quika was preparing equipment in the field when he was injured and exposed to an explosion. According to Israel's Channel 2 News, Quaqua, which I think is the way it's said, was the head of Hamas explosives unit, in other words, in charge of a terrorist group pulling off terrorism through bombing. And the Qassam Brigade said that he had been involved in manufacturing and assembling explosives, among other activities. The Hamas commander, the statement added, was from the Al-Shafti refugee camp in northern Gaza. The Palestinian website Al-Rashlah, which is affiliated with Hamas, which is a terrorist group, said the explosion that killed Quaqua occurred in the Soudanieh area of northern Gaza, which used to be Israel, until Israel gave it away, and now they have lunatics bombing them from it. The report quoted medical sources who said that the Hamas commander had been brought to the hospital with his arms and legs blown off. Good, they should have put salt on his wounds. Piece of human filth. The terror group held a large funeral, which was too good for him, for Quaqua in Gaza on Monday. They should have spit on him, complete with signs claiming that he had been killed while preparing something for the enemy. Well, the enemy in this regard is anyone who doesn't want to practice Sharia law, cut people's throats in the street, and have some semblance of decency and decorum in them. When this guy goes to hell, it will be too good if the devil acknowledges that he is there. Yes, I said it. Hamas, which is openly committed to the destruction of the Jewish state, I should say, and anyone else that isn't Islamic, in the same way that they are, it continues to train its fighters, build rockets, and dig tunnels in preparation for another round of conflict with Israel. Now, how many of you listening to my voice remember distinctly when Israel was promised that these things were not going to happen because Israel gave up land for peace? It looks like land for pieces, as in we will blow you to pieces. Thanks for giving us the land. You're an idiot. Last year, 22 members of Hamas's armed wing were killed while preparing equipment. Good. The majority in a string of tunnel collapses. So in other words, they're building tunnels to harm Israel, and the tunnel collapsed upon them. So it looks like the very hand of God is against these animals, and that can only be good. Friends, that brings us towards the Dumdy of the day. That's right, the Dumdy of the day. When we go ahead and bring out the absolute stupidest news story of the day and make it our main focus for the closing of the show. Remember, Dunce Cap of the Month happens once a month, and you can support all of that at the correct views at hotmail.com. Brought to you by Change Transportation. Don't call Uber, call Change Transportation. Going into the You Are an Idiot section of the show, Jason Derulo, the most overrated artist that ever thought that he could sing or rap. He could do neither. It feels like a racial issue. Jason Derulo slams American Airlines after being disrespected by the captain and met with 14 cops after demanding to disembark. Now, before I get into this, let's take a real good look at what this overrated, talentless hack actually did. He got on board a plane, didn't like the fact that they charged him an exuberant amount of money because he bought more luggage than some countries own, and asked the plane to turn around because he's a celebrity, so please kiss his ass. And then when people harassed him for it, he tried to say that it was based on his race. Now, I guarantee that if my cracker ass goes onto an airplane and pretends to insinuate that they need to turn it around because I don't like how much I'm being charged for baggage, I'm going to get the same treatment he did. That is why he's winning the Dumdy of the day. Not only can he sing, not only can he rap, but he's an idiot. Jason Derulo was blasted American Airlines for racism following an incident at Miami Airport Wednesday during which police officers were called because he was being an idiot. Look at his face. He looks like an idiot. Piss on him. In a video obtained by DailyMail.com, Derulo explains what happened in the moments leading up to the incident, which he calls a racial issue. No, it's a stupid issue. And guess who the stupid one is, dolt? The recording artist, if you can call him that, and his entourage demanded that the plane be turned around and go back to the gate because everybody else, of course, has to bow to him because he's famous, as if he has some talent, which he doesn't, and was told by a friend that they were going to be charged $4,000 for 19 pieces of luggage that had been loaded onto a separate flight. All right, Shazam, Sparky, let me give you an idea. Maybe if your stupid black ass hadn't brought 19 pieces of luggage on board an airplane, then your stupid black ass wouldn't have been charged that. Guess what? Stupid white asses get charged the same thing, you brainless dolt. Not because you're black, but because you're stupid. The 27-year-old singer, yeah, he's a singer like I'm a rocket scientist, said that he and his friends were disembarking, and the captain came out and began cursing at them and ordering them to leave the plane. Yeah, because they just deviated an entire plane full of people because he didn't want to pay his bill. He was kicking us off the plane, and it was us that asked to get off the plane. You're not allowed to ask to get off the plane once you're on it. You don't. It's not a bus, you stupid ass. It was like, listen, sir, you're not going to talk down to me. I'm not your son. Don't talk to me in that tone of voice. You stupid ass, you should have talked to you with the ass end of a billy club. I've met pieces of crap smarter than you are, you dolt. The star said he and his group were met with 15 police officers. That's 15 less than I would have brought, which he said was obviously embarrassing to him. Maybe you should have been embarrassed when you presumed that you were important enough to have an airplane turn around for your stupid ass because you're a cheap son of a bitch. The tone changed because of who I am, the singer said. Let me tell you who you are, Jason Derulo. You are absolutely nobody. Here's the one finger salute for you. Sit and spin, bastard. Yeah, I can say it. The show isn't syndicated yet. Fuck him. Friends, you're listening to The Correct Views. Hopefully I will get syndicated, because when I am, I won't be able to say things like, fuck you, Jason Derulo, because you're a piece of shit. Donate at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com, because every penny you give to me goes towards a better show. You can do so at PayPal. Good night, friends. God bless.